You on?
You're on, Dad.
Okay. Cut some tomatoes. We usually cut the ends off. Try to slice them and position them around the plate.
Dad's making his famous grilled cheese sandwiches. Pay close attention, people out there.
Okay, we're going to start with Worcestershire. Worcestershire. It's fairly liberal. Applying this to the tomatoes, you want to make sure the flavor permeates all the tomatoes. So if you skimp, you're not going to get the right flavoring. But again, you don't want to be overdone. I usually put the liquids on first, as with the vinegar. Small cup full of vinegar. Again, I start at one side and I try to, not too much, just I don't want to overdo it. But I try to make sure that every tomato gets covered pretty much. A couple of capfuls, not really the whole cap though, sometimes. Just till I think I've reached my goal. Yeah, I guess probably a cap and a half, 2 caps. Worcestershire sauce, vinegar, Worcestershire sauce. Next, we're going to go for the extra virgin oil. Kind of brings the flavoring all together. A little more oil. To make sure we get all of the tomatoes covered with all the ingredients we're putting on. Next we use a Sheffield Tawny Port wine, which tends to be sort of a half sweet wine. I imagine you can use a dry wine if you want. A cap full, sometimes a cap and a half, depending. You don't want it to have too much of a wine flavor. You got to use this sparingly. As you can see, of course, sometimes toward near the end, I tend to drink the remainder because I tend to have a penchant for a nice sweet aromatic flavor that this has. Oh, that's good. That's Sheffield Tawny Port. I always put the liquids in first. I try always to put the liquids in first. Then we go to our favorite spice closet and put everything in but the kitchen sink. We'll start with basil leaves. Again, the trick is just so you see it on the tomatoes, it's not overly done. Because you don't want any ingredient to overpower the other. Basil. Whole oregano. Very carefully so you don't overdo it. Next, a little Italian seasoning. Garlic and parsley. Love garlic. Great for the heart, great for the body. Parsley flakes, again, you want to make sure that we don't overdo it with the parsley flakes. We don't want any particular ingredient to be overbearing amongst the others. A couple of pinches. Ideally, when you're making this, after you've assembled it, put all the seasonings in, the perfect way, the ideal way to do it is do it like a half hour, 40 minutes before, so to give the flavoring a chance to seep into the tomatoes. They will absorb. Now we're doing a little black pepper. Gotta be very careful. Sometimes pepper tends to run crazy out of the container. Next, we're using the minced onion. Again, with the onion really enhances the flavor. I'm a little more liberal with the onions. Because as you start to put it in your mouth for flavoring and your tongue, it really attracts. The tomato enhances all the flavors with the onion. I also use a salad supreme, as you can see by McDermott's. This is very tasty, wonderful on salads. It's a great experience. And I use sea salt. I understand it's healthier for you. From a health standpoint, most of us tend to like this better. Still sodium, but I guess I think it's more concentrated. Much less apt to use more of it. Okay, now I generally like to look and see if I got enough juice flowing around inside there. If not, I usually give it a second dab of Worcestershire sauce. You want it to more or less steep in this flavoring of the liquid to be able to travel through the tomatoes. And you tipped your plate, if you can see it on the edge, we're doing all right. And there you have it. There's the tomatoes. What we use is a whole grain, 15 grain bread. But the brand name we're using is Pepperidge Farm. It's excellent, excellent, excellent. Give yourself a paper plate as we assemble them. I generally put 2 per plate. So when I pull the plate, I already have the assembled sandwich. Both halves of it, I should say. First we apply the butter. Just to help with the browning of the bread, so it doesn't burn. I hope I don't run out of butter. I didn't plan on it, but put enough butter because that's what's going to hold all the garlic and parsley in place and really flavors the entire sandwich when it all comes together. Again, we use the garlic and parsley. Not too much, fairly liberal, but not so it'll be overbearing. We try to find a harmony in the flavoring. Here's one. And we'll do this continuously for the next 3 more sandwiches. It gives it a nice Portuguese flavoring. As I was raised on, it's unique. This particular flavoring is unique to our particular heritage, which is Madeiran. And this is why I chose to do it this way and try this application. And it seems to be quite popular with my family. This year, for the first time, we've grown our own tomatoes, own vegetables. It's been a fantastic experience. been a real enlightenment. Use the Land O'Lakes canola butter. You want to be specific about the ingredients. I imagine any butter would do. But if you want to achieve that same flavoring, seems to be part of the mystery and the secret of why it tastes so great. This application has evolved over the last couple of years by myself through a process of elimination and a little adventure, taking chances with different spices. $250, 300 degrees. Using the Western canola oil. While the grill is heating up, we put a little stroke of it on here. Paper towel, make it into sort of temporary brushing application so I can spread the oil around the grill. Side. Let the garlic and the butter go down. We'll wait for that to brown. They get the brown slightly. You can tell. I will point that out to you. Slightly brown. Want a little browner than that, then we're ready to put the cheese on. The final browning will take place when the weighted board is on it, pressure to cause all the ingredients to kind of come together. We'll just keep checking this. Let's put this little light on. We use mozzarella cheese with low moisture, hot skin. Is it viewing all right? Put as much as you want, and you want enough cheese so at least it oozes out the sides once it reaches temperature. That's what helps bond all the ingredients together and bring out all the flavors. Now it's starting to get a little crusty. As you can see, those tomatoes up. I try to dry the other tomatoes that are in the center up on the edges, down to the center where most of the juices are. I want to get them soaked in the juice. There are the small pieces along the corners with the small pieces that we cut earlier. I call them corner fillers. So when you bite into that sandwich, all you're tasting is wonderful tomatoes. In every corner, every mouthful. Even distribution of cheese makes all the difference in the world. When you bite into it, you want to see that cheese right along the edges. Okay. I generally line them up together, put it under there. And lower the heat to about 250. And generally I put things on for weight, whatever I can find. You want the compression to take place to get the ingredients to fuse together. Whatever I find, I use. Even the coloring of the tomatoes change as the juice starts to infuse inside the tomato. That's what you want, a real great, delicious flavor. You have to wait. Cooking time. Don't try to rush it because you'll only burn the sandwiches and you lose all the quality. Now checking the first side for being toasted sufficiently. Again, as we flip over, we're going to be adding a good sizable amount of butter. Make sure the browning continues and doesn't bond. More importantly, for even toasting, as you can see how well. That's only about, I think, what, 3? Put your weight board back on. We'll double check. Oh, look at that beautiful color. Are you kidding me? That's like going to heaven. Let's see what the other side looks like. All right. Another burned my clothes. And you can see that everything's stuck together real well, everything's melted well. Fusion is taking place. There you are. Madeiran Grilled Cheese. Compliments of the Nobrega family. Enjoy. Happy eating.